We are a family-run business. We have 12 pharmacies in and around London. It was set up by my father, called Singh Chana, back in the 1980s, and we've been growing ever since. In the current climate, we wanted to maximize on patient needs, so technology was a key aspect of that. The challenges before MDS automation, where we were doing 1,000 manual MDS patients for the whole group. Teams were reluctant on taking on extra MDS patients. We were finding the workload to be too much. The reason we switched to automation was due to the increased workforce pressure and the increase of dispensing costs. I spoke to people in the industry and they highly recommended Omnicell.
We'd been debating automation for quite some time. Once we'd had a look at the several options available on the market and then soon placed an order, we then started our conversations with Omnicell. So the key areas that we had a lot of support from Omnicell was initially from site selection. So we had a number of branches that we thought of housing the hub in, and they helped us pick the right one. Cartridge selection was another area that we had a lot of help on to make sure that the brands that we selected for our cartridges allowed us enough flexibility to use alternative brands to ensure supply was there all the time and didn't stop production. We also had help with training throughout the process, so our teams were able to get trained and be comfortable with using the VBM from the outset. And then also with liaising with our PMR provider, ProScript, Omnicell liaised with them to get an interface between our hub and spoke branches to ensure that data transferred between them easily. Once we had our go live date, we worked backwards using our project plan. What this meant is at the point where we had the trainer on site, we had all of our canisters ordered, ready, delivered. We had all of our medication that we needed to go into the canisters ready and de-blistered. And we also had all our team on point in terms of knowing what was happening at every stage. So this meant that at the point when the trainers started and we went live, we were able to hit the ground running and scale up our 12 branches quite quickly in the time that the trainer was with us. So we've been delighted with our initial results, and we attribute the initial success to the preparation that we did as a team.
The medication from the PMRs, according to the spoke branches, gets sent over to the bridge. Once it comes to the bridge, it then gets checked and made sure that the trays are correct and the quantities are correct. Once it's done, it gets merged and it gets sent straight to the VBM. Once it's on the VBM, there's two types. There's if you've got all the medication in your cartridges, it then gets sent straight through and runs. However, if there's medication that we need to add as an MDA, it then gets added with the trays that come out. We add it in the trays, put them back in and run it. Once it's run, the medication falls through. Trays then come out through the hatch and go straight to the BCO. On the BCO, this is where the final check-in stage is done. They check the medication. It would pop up if there's a mistake, if any sort of error, any discrepancies. Then it's sealed and checked. We put away for the rest of them to be sent off to the branches.
When we went live, we had 8 days of training with Omnicell. They had a trainer on site, and we actually effectively went live in that time. So we started off with a couple of branches, and by the end of the 8 days, we'd actually onboarded all of our branches of the 12. And we started off in the first month doing around about 157 trays in the day. Then it went to 287 in the second month. And then at month 3, our record has been 406 trays for the day, which is effectively about 100 patients for that day, which is amazing. And we're really pleased with those results. We're now in a process where we've onboarded all our branches. Work is flowing nicely between branches and also the hub. And we're able to cater for the entire 1,000 patients that we have from this hub.
We've seen time saved on dispensing and checking. The machine does about 40 trays per hour. That would actually take, if someone had to do it manually, about a whole day. The staff morale has improved, so we were able to upskill our staff in other areas of our business. We have made savings on workforce costs, which have been able to support the staff in looking at other avenues of the business to generate more income. We will continue to invest in automation. That includes increasing on our MDS patients and then looking at other automations such as the Omnicell prescription collection point.